What to do when your sales don't take off? Even if I don't know your business and what you sell, after 15-year experience in selling online courses and services, I can confidently say this. When you are struggling to make sales, you should work on these three aspects: your communication, your offer, and who you want to serve. And in this video, I want to dive deep into these three aspects and what you can do to 10x your sales. My name is Max Cecco, and I teach aspiring entrepreneurs and professionals how to turn their knowledge and or someone else's expertise even into a 7-figure business. Aspect number 1, communication. If your communication doesn't match your ideal client's problems, frustrations, aspirations, and desires, you're not going to sell anything. But what does it mean? First of all, you're not selling products or services. You are helping your clients solve their problems. And most aspiring entrepreneurs and professionals start their business without precisely defining their ideal client, who they want to serve. If you don't define who you want to help, your communication will not be enticing enough to attract your prospects' attention and move them to do a specific action. And this is a fucking problem. Indeed, if your potential clients can't relate to what you are saying, they will not pay attention to you and your message. Consequently, they will not buy what you sell. This is why it is so crucial to define who you want to serve before creating your products or services. Instead, many aspiring entrepreneurs and professionals start with product creation. Then they try to sell it just to discover that no one is going to buy what they sell. And this is another problem. But let me be very clear. I made this mistake more than once in the last 15 years of my marketing career. And today, I don't create any products or services. First, I define who I want to serve. Secondly, I craft an irrefutable offer without developing any product or service. Thirdly, I create a marketing funnel to sell my stuff without crafting it in advance. This is the perfect recipe to test if your communication is aligned with who you want to serve. Communication is just the first piece of the puzzle. Indeed, when you're not selling anything, the second step is always to create a new compelling offer. Aspect number 2, offer. Creating irresistible offers clients can't refuse is crucial for selling anything. One of the main reasons your sales don't take off is because your offer is not compelling enough to push people to open their wallets to buy what you sell. When you create an offer, you have to focus your attention on building value. It means that the value of your offer must be 10 times more than the price you are asking. If you are selling an online course for $1,000, you have to include in your offer some valuable stuff in terms of knowledge and experience in order to let your future client perceive the bargain. In other words, if your client pays you $1,000, what they will get is a $10,000 value. Your perceived value as the author is crucial, especially when it comes to selling online courses and service, intangible goods. Your perceived value is correlated to your experience, how many years you are on the market, testimonials, who you have helped in the last years, and even your social authority. If you are not anyone in the market, if you don't have testimonials, if you don't have developed your content authority, I can confidently say that it will be difficult to sell online courses and even services. Today, people are more educated, and before buying your stuff, they want to know your experience, who you are, what you have done in the past. And honestly, this is the main reason why I have been sharing my knowledge and experience on social networks since 2022, even if I have 13 years of experience in the Italian market. Especially in today's economy, people buy people first, and then products and services. Your content authority helps your future clients to identify you as the expert in your field of competency. In addition, sharing your knowledge and experience helps you increase prices and create better offers your clients can't refuse to buy. Now let's switch to the third parameter to let your sales take off. Aspect number 3. Change your ideal client. Sometimes, to let your business prosper and increase sales, you need to change who you want to serve. Your ideal client. Let's pretend you are a business coach selling a service in an oversaturated market. If you don't have enough social authority or advertising budget, most probably you can't compete with others in your same field of competency. They are selling more than you, probably because they have been on the market for many years and they have established their authority. In this case, you have two options. Option number 1. Redefine your brand positioning to serve a different target audience. The key is to be perceived differently from the competition. In this case, you don't have to compete directly with your competitors because you are serving a different ideal client. But there is another option. Option number 2. Change geo. In other words, satisfy the needs of the same target audience, but in different countries that speak your language. In this case, based on the countries you want to advertise in, you should even consider adapting your offer based on their purchasing power. With that being said, never, ever create a product or service before selling it first. This is why I highly recommend watching this next video. How to sell a digital product before creating it. In this video, I shared my 5-step system to sell a digital product before creating it, to ensure your potential clients are ready to buy it. In other words, how to pre-sell your digital product before organizing and recording anything. So, watch this video now.